Good evening and welcome to Pandora's Playpen, and I'm your host, Pandora. Tonight we're going to watch a couple clips together and talk about these clips from Love and Marriage Huntsville, Part 1 of the reunion.
That's accurate.
That is accurate.
That's accurate.
Okay. Was a breathalyzer administered?
I don't want to go into details, but public record would show that.
Are you representing yourself in this?
No, I have a lawyer.
Where do things stand right now with this case?
It's an ongoing legal issue. And what's really difficult about this whole situation is watching all of the individuals up here basically convict me before I was proven.
Now, in that first clip, Carlos is asking Maurice about his DUI. He's asking him basic softball questions, and Maurice is being a little defensive. But I also notice as the camera is panning everybody on the stage for their face for a response, the look on Marceau's face seems like disappointment and anger with his brother. To me, the vibe between Marceau and Maurice has just been off. Now let's watch the next clip.
Under reasonable doubt, which is the standard. Ultimately, the law says you're innocent until proven guilty.
Or if you plead guilty?
Well, that's a different story. However, you're innocent until proven guilty. But watching each individual, right? It's telling.
They do all this reading and all this information. How many people care that, is he actually okay?
I did.
I did. I texted you. I called you.
That was the first.
Now, in this clip, I've noticed that Maurice says several times, each individual having something to say on the stage about his DUI arrest. But the only person that gets called out is Melody. And Tisha and Destiny were very quick to be like, I did, I called. But nobody else had anything to say, including his brother Marceau. And when Tisha was talking about it with him at the job site, his answers were short and he seemed like he was upset. I don't know if he just didn't want to talk about his brother or he just didn't want to talk about it with her. Let's watch this next clip together.
On the night of what happened, you were at Black, correct?
I was at Black earlier, yeah.
You were arrested in the morning.
Correct.
When you left Black, where did you go?
I went home.
To Kimmy.
I was on my way to home.
So on your way home to Kimmy, you got into the accident. Where were you in between the time of Black and your arrest?
Traveling.
You were traveling? By car?
By vehicle.
Okay. Were you alone?
Now, in the clip that we just watched, Carlos is asking a little bit more difficult questions, a little bit more detailed, and fork-tongued Maurice is getting a little tongue-tied, especially when it came to, was he going home? Was he traveling alone? Where was he going? I also noticed as we were watching the clip, the men on the stage, all of them were looking down at the floor when Maurice was speaking. Also, Kimmy was becoming more and more closed off and angry. She would cross her arms over herself, like in protection mode a lot, when Carlos was questioning Maurice. It was as if Kimmy was giving herself a hug, trying to reassure herself that everything was going to be okay. Let's go ahead and watch the next clip.
I was the only person there.
Was Kimmy the last woman you were with before you got arrested?
Absolutely.
Okay. You and Kimmy, did y'all leave together or leave separately?
We left separately.
So, Kimmy, you went home.
Are you speculating that I was home?
I'm asking. Oh. Were you
It's
at
the speculation.
Okay.
Because the whole line of questioning.
Now, this scene right here really had me laugh because Kimmy became real defensive when Carlos started speaking to her. And she was like, are you speculating that I went home? Or are you speculating this? Ma'am, I didn't know you went to law school too. I knew you had a nursing degree, but not a law degree. Maybe she went and got her law degree like the rest of us detectives did at Law and Order University, because Lord knows that's where I got mine from. But even though she's extremely mad at him, probably disappointed and embarrassed, she still protected him. She still brought heat on herself to try to make herself look as if she was doing something wrong. And all along it was her husband. She is 100% protect Maurice mode at any cost, even if that means her own dignity, sanity, self love, and self care. Let's watch the next clip.
It's speculation.
I like it, girl.
No,
I like it.
I actually watched the show. I actually listen to what people say, and as a journalist, I'm able to take in information.
Okay.
So you said in a scene that I watched, you said you were at home, and
It doesn't mean when I left Black, I went home.
okay, so perfect. Were you at Credit One after hours, listening to
not the after
Teddy
hours.
Pendergrass, or?
I haven't done after hours Credit One before.
Okay, so when you left Black, where did you go? Up next on the Love and Marriage Huntsman.
Ooh, child, messy ass Carlos. Now you could tell he really pissed Kimmy off right there when he said, well, she had the Credit One after hours. And then Tisha chimes in, ooh, not the Credit One after hours. Honey, that pissed Kimmy the fuck off. And she made it clear that she was never at the Credit One after hours. She was a step away from saying, I'm a wife, not a side chick. And Carlos called himself a journalist. I didn't know he went to journalism school. I'm going to have to look into that. You would think with him being a journalist and all, he would fact check a lot more and have all his facts clear, not withhold information, and treat people the way that he does. And that's just my opinion. I thought journalists had to work with a high standard of integrity and decency when they report things, repeat things, and talk about things. Because, sir, from where I stand, at this point, you're a content creator like the rest of us. But okay, Mr. Journalist. On to the next clip, guys.
And
It doesn't mean when I left Black, I went home.
okay, so when you left Black, where did you go?
This not my line of questioning.
So you taking on the Scott in terms of being a gaslighter?
No, I think it's a bunch of bull. Like the whole line of questioning. Like it's obvious because we were all together and we were all in the same place.
Except his car.
Except his car.
Yeah.
When you said you all in the same place, y'all were up until the vehicle.
Right.
Until
the-
second vehicle.
right.
Not the pot calling the kettle black. Carlos out here calling Kimmy a gaslighter like the Scots. Child, everybody on that stage is a gaslighter except for Melody Cherie. And Kimmy, you're saying it's a bunch of bullshit being questioned and the line of questioning that's coming at you and Maurice, but it's a bunch of bullshit that you think you can sit in people's faces and tell us a bunch of bullshit and we're just going to believe whatever the fuck you have to say. Ma'am, your husband lied to you. He got caught in a lie publicly. He made you look foolish. And now y'all are trying to cover it up. But we see you. We see the bullshit. We see the lie. Just stop. You were better off just saying nothing and saying, we can't talk about it. It's a open court case. We plead the fifth. Y'all should have just got on that stage and shut the fuck up. But instead, you got on that stage and you made yourselves look worse. And we're all giving you the side eye because we know that you're lying. And we know that you're lying because we watched the episode when you sat and had the conversation with your husband at your table. Y'all are lying. And then you want to add in your little gas station stop into the storyline like you was going somewhere. Ma'am, you was going home to sit and wait for your husband like you normally do when he's out running the streets all hours of the night and you have no damn clue of where he's at. And when you can't take it no longer, you get in your Jeep and you ride around the streets of Huntsville to his normal haunts, looking for him, telling him it's time for him to come home. Stop playing with us, ma'am. Just stop.
separate vehicles.
Yeah.
Correct. Agreed, 100%. But what I'm saying, nobody knows what I did when I left, and nobody knows what he did when he left. It's speculation.
But I'm asking you, and you won't answer me.
No, I said I made a stop, and then I went home. I did not go
What
straight
stop
home.
did you make? Was a gas station get a burrito or a slushy at 7-Eleven?
I wish we had a 7-Eleven, and I probably would have stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to go by the office and get some stuff.
Oh,
And
so
then
she
I
Went to
home.
Credit One.
With the credit one.
It's no longer Credit One.
Okay.
So you don't watch the show.
Did anybody other than me pick up her saying that they stopped at Credit One so she can get some work? And Maurice says that he was with her during her stop. Okay, so yins were at a party. You leave the party in separate vehicles. Yins both drive to Credit One that is no longer named Credit One to pick up some work. Kimmy goes home and Maurice tells you what? He's going to go out and party some more? It seems like you sat down, came up with this half-assed story right before the reunion so that Kimmy can have a little heat on her and people be like, oh, well, maybe Kimmy's out doing something, and take some of the heat off of your husband. Your stories don't make sense. Not his, not yours, and not the two of them together. I just don't understand. Y'all were better off not saying anything. But you're mad because people had the audacity to ask you questions, talk about your situation, and the fact that your husband got a DUI in the middle of the afternoon after he'd been out all night partying, and you were up first thing in the morning riding around looking for him, talking about, well, I thought he might have been asleep at the office. Who the hell sleeps in the office, ma'am? He ain't that busy. He doesn't have that many law cases. At least in my opinion, he doesn't have that many law cases. So you do this on a regular. You go to bed without your husband, and when you get up in the morning and he's not at home, you ride out looking for him. That's what you do. And y'all told on yourselves. And the lipstick on his lips, allegedly, told on himself, because it sure enough wasn't the same shade that you had on in the Instagram photos that we all seen on social media. All right, guys, back to the next clip.
I do watch. So you went to work.
Oh,
That part. Shade, it keeps getting dark over here.
So when you learned that Maurice was booked, what time was that?
It's about noon. It's noon.
About noon.
He called me.
So when you went to bed and there wasn't a hot body next to you, you weren't concerned? But no, real talk. Is it normal that Maurice doesn't come home until 9 or 10 in the morning?
Not at all. Not at all.
It's not the first time it happened?
Not without me knowing what is going on or where he is.
Because the thing with you, Kimmy, you've always been heralded as the honest,
Correct.
Henrietta. So I want to make sure that, you are able to answer these questions that a lot of people want to
I'm answering
know.
everyone you got.
Okay, perfect.
Give me some more. Ooh.
Do you think Maurice is cheating on you?
In my opinion, yes. Kimmy believes that Maurice is cheating on her. In my opinion, Kimmy knows that Maurice is cheating on her. Just because the things that Maurice has said to her on this show, everybody believes that Maurice is cheating on her because of the things that comes out of her husband's mouth, because of the way that he moves and the way that she gets angry when anybody questions her about the way her husband moves and how he speaks to her and how he talks about having sex with her and his appetite for sex. So yes, Kimmy believes that her husband is cheating on her, in my opinion, and I think she's just tired and she doesn't have much fight left. At least that's how it looks to me from the outside looking in. All right, guys, on to the next clip.
No. However, listen to what I'm saying. I don't put it past people. So I'm not one to say, oh, it's never going to happen in my life. It ain't. That's not me. Well, I don't, nobody. You could tell me tomorrow he cheated. I'd be like, that stuff doesn't surprise me. No.
It'd be surprising to me, but I don't put it past Kimmy either. Rushing to get home, making pit stops and stuff.
So, Maurice, when you were traveling, she made a pit stop to get a Slurpee. Where did you go?
I was actually with her with the pit stop. Gotcha.
Okay. So when
Damn.
no, it's okay. So when she went home to sleep in your bed alone, where were you?
Traveling
Two.
home. I said that earlier.
So from 4 a.m. to noon, when she found out you were booked, where were you between those hours?
You know what? That's part of the story.
Okay, Mr. Fork Tongue, you want to holler gotcha, but you just got yourself. Because Carlos asked, when Kimmy went home, where were you? You said traveling home. So it took you from 4 a.m. in the morning until noon in an attempt to get home, but you got a DUI because you hit a pole and you was in your car accident and you got arrested. I know Huntsville is not that big of a city, so I don't think it took you from 4 a.m. in the morning to make your way home. So in reality, what's really good, Maurice? What's really good, Mr. Fork Tongue? Because you like to use a lot of big words. You like to talk in your leveled, melancholy, bullshit voice. But nothing that's coming out your mouth on this stage, sir, is adding up. And you're just looking crazy and you're making your wife look even crazier. At this point, why don't you two of you just plead the fifth? Say nothing. Just use the excuse, I can't talk about it because it's an open court case. And let's be honest, sir, when you do go to court for this case, they're not going to ask you why you weren't home with your wife or where you were headed to or things of that nature or who you were with. They're going to want to know why you were out intoxicated and driving and you hit a pole. That's what the courts are going to ask you. They're not going to ask you, are you cheating on your wife? But the rest of the world, the way it looks to us, you were cheating on your wife. The way you were double talking, using that forked tongue of yours to try to BS everyone around like we're all stupid and we were born last night is just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. And your own brother and sister's facial expressions say they don't believe you. Martell don't believe you. Hell, the Fletchers don't believe you. Neither does Destiny, Carlos, or Melody. Nobody on that stage that is sitting up here listening to you and Kimmy try to con us believe you. We don't believe you. Y'all are lying. We do not believe you. All right, guys, everybody leave a comment in the comment section and tell me what you feel about the last scene that we just watched. Are you believing Kimmy and Maurice's fork tongue tales, or do you think they're BSing us? Let's go ahead and watch the next clip.
You'll get the rest of this next year, I'm sure.
Ooh, not 2025.
And that's fair.
Oh no, it's very fair. How did you feel seeing Melody talk about you being irresponsible based on the fact that she did lose a family member under the hands of a DUI?
It's unfortunate to see Melody disparage my character because there's plenty of opportunities that I could had to disparage Melody's character, and I chose not to. But, you know, it's telling. I think that you get a chance to see who a person is when they have their opportunity.
What does that mean?
She had her opportunity to show who she was, and she did.
I had an opportunity to give my opinion, which I did, which is actually the same thing that you have done the past 5+ years.
But I didn't give the opinion to disparage your character, did I?
You've given your opinion about
To
how you
disparage
felt
your
about
character?
different things pertaining to my previous marriage and all the things going
I said
on
to
in it.
disparage.
All right, Mr. Fork Tongue, here we go again. You say that Melody is disparaging your character. I'm not quite sure how when she asked about your arrest time, and she asked about what the bloggers were saying about the lipstick on your lips and your shirt collar. That's not damaging your character, sir. That's making observations and asking questions about the things that she hears out here in these YouTube streets. But what I did catch over and over again, every time Melody or someone else brings up the fact that she lost her grandmother due to the negligence of a drunk driver, you always bring it back to you. You are so narcissistic. You lack compassion for other people, but you like to play this role of the good guy when in reality you're not. When Carlos said, "How do you feel about Melody losing her grandmother from a DUI?" And you're like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah. That's unfortunate that she chose to disparage my character." Sir, that wasn't even a question you were asked. Stop playing. Just stop playing. All of you need to stop playing and just tell the truth. Tell exactly how you feel. I don't fuck with Melody. The only reason why I fuck with Martell is because we be fucking hoes together, allegedly, apparently. At least that's what Martell has said. Just stop the front. Stop fronting. Y'all are too old for this. Y'all are way too old to be fronting and BSing like this. And if you didn't want your dirt and the things that you do in the dark to come to light, you should have never came on a reality show. But y'all thought that you can just continue to use Melody and Martell as the focus point for your BS. But now the things that gents do in the dark are seeping into the light, and we can see it. We see y'all. And I know on some human level, this must be really hard for you and Kimmy Maurice to have to go through this and your wife just be dragged through the mud. But I don't believe that you're worried about your wife being dragged through the mud. The only person's character you're worried about is your own, and you only care about that to a certain extent. You like the facade of being the quote unquote the good guy, the calm, cool, collective, level headed one out of the group. And that is just a mask that you pick up off your wall and put on your face every day. I don't believe that's who you truly are, in my opinion. And your mask has cracks in it. You've been showing us who you truly are over and over and over again throughout the years. Let's go ahead and watch this last clip.
I have already told you how I felt and why I felt that way. Good luck. Honestly, good luck to you with your course. I pray that you overcome all of it. Good luck to you with that. We've had a conversation. I told you why my opinion was what it was. We chopped it up, laughed, and moved on. And that's where I am right now in 2024 of October.
This is what I do understand. This case isn't about me versus any of us on this stage. It's me versus the state of Alabama. Ultimately, they have unlimited resources. So what's smart and what's prudent is you shut the up and let your lawyer handle it. So that's what I'm going to do about this.
I'm glad you're safe.
Thank you.
And I'm glad nobody was hurt.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to pause right here. We'll be right back.
All right, my playmates. That part right there is who Maurice is behind closed doors at home when he's not on camera. That loud aggressiveness that just peeped its ugly head out when he said, "Shut the fuck up and be quiet." That is his temperament. When those cameras aren't rolling, when he's drinking and with the boys, and when he's probably arguing with his wife, that right there was Maurice, not his representative. People can keep up a good front. People can carry their representative with them everywhere they go for years. But after a while, it starts to raise their little ugly head of who they truly are. And like I said before, that mask that they wear of their representative starts to crack and you see holes and they start showing their true selves. And over the years, Maurice and Kimmy have been showing us their true selves. From Kimmy being a little extra touchy-feely with Martell, always hollering how Martell is such a good guy, and he's a good guy, and he's a good man, and he's a good dad, and she'll never call Arion a side chick or coleslaw. Her name is Arion. Little shit like that lets me know that Kimmy is not truly a good person to other women. Maurice, Kimmy rolls over and takes it even when she doesn't want to, and him telling her, "Oh, I'm going to have my ex-wife move to Huntsville," and not even having a conversation with her, just telling her what he's going to do. Him telling her, "I'm going to fight for custody of my son," not having a conversation with her first. Those little things are who they are as people. Maurice, nobody, especially not Melody, tarnished your character, sir. You did that on your own when you were probably on your way home from wherever and you hit the telephone pole going on at noon and the cop arrested you at noon. That damaged your character, sir. That showed another glimpse of who you truly are. Melody did nothing to you but ask a question. And just like Melody said, over the years, you've been putting your input about her and her previous marriage every chance you got. Every chance you got, you were talking about Melody and Martell, just like your wife, just like your brother, just like your sister-in-law, just like Destiny, and the other cast members that have come and gone on this show. The show has been ran and carried on the back of Melody and Martell. And now that Melody has gone, I don't know which ends are going to do, but I hope your storylines get a little better and everybody forms together like Voltron and Unity of bullshit, because you are going to have to carry the show on your own now. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. This was fun. I kind of like recording and watching clips and talking about the clips with you guys this way. I greatly appreciate the time that you have given me. Please hit the like button, comment below if you would like to discuss further anything about the clips that we watched tonight, and make sure that you subscribe. And thank you for watching Pandora's Playpen. Have a good night, y'all.